What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and hang with me here for just a minute as I really want to explain a little bit about this video before you go forward. This is something completely different from anything I've done on the channel, and it may never happen again. This kind of comparison is much less about anything to do with the graphics of the game being compared like I would normally do, and much more about Joe's experience playing this game, playing Destiny 2 on the 3 different cloud services when he, number one, doesn't hardly ever cloud game. He definitely doesn't play Stadia or xCloud very much. He's played GFN a little bit. He's also about 20 minutes away from me with the same internet service provider. And he also only games in 1080p. That's it. He has 1080p gaming monitors. His PS5, his Series S, his PC is all hooked up to that. So it allowed for a nice parity for me to have the same resolution and frame rate, 1080p 60 across all 3 cloud services, with his internet service provider, with his setup, recording everything, and him playing and really getting that full experience. So I got to get all that footage from him, put together a little bit of comparing in here for you to check out. But more importantly, after that, we roll into some discussion about his experience with the game on 3 different cloud services. So I found it to be really interesting. If you want to hear the full-length conversation, you can go check out the podcast, link in the description below, and there's a timestamp in there to help you find it. But I believe this video completely stands on its own to get the point across and the discussion across that we were trying to do. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. Definitely let us know in the comments down below. And if you haven't already, subscribe, thumbs up, and ring the bell so you know when new videos come out. Again, guys, I really appreciate the support. I appreciate you coming to watch, and I hope you enjoy the video.
as you can see here, like, the stream's super clean, everything's super fluid. Actually, this part coming up right here, you can actually see I'm just nailing some headshots, some really nice shots here on Stadia. So I mean, like, I had trouble replicating these shots I was making on the other platforms.
But I thought it would be cool to get more context from the person that recorded them, who doesn't necessarily play a lot of cloud, especially Stadia and xCloud, and then like just like what felt good about each one and bad about each one. Kind of like, I think I know where you would prefer to play, except this Stadia video is showing one of the drawbacks as well, because I think this is the only time you had to solo the strike.
Oh yeah, and Stadia was the one I did first, as a matter of fact. I went in and I'm like, I'm searching and it keeps putting me in with no one. And I'm like, oh man, I'm not going to be able to do this video. As actually, there was a different strike I was going to do, but this one was a little more soloable. So like right off the bat, I changed my plan on what strike was going to happen strictly because of Stadia. You know, I could not get matched with anybody. Now, granted, I did not use like the Vanguard strikes where you're probably going to get matched, but it's a random strike. For what I was doing here, I couldn't do that. You know, like I'd be queuing forever trying to get the same strike 3 times.
Right. So while your latency and picture quality was definitely there, the 60 FPS was there, but of course, you know, there's still challenges with the player base right now on Destiny 2. So Stadia was the first one you did, and then I think you did Geforce Now after that, which you have more experience with to begin with. You did a 3-hour raid on Geforce Now without a single disconnect before. So I know the experience is pretty good for you. Player base is great because it's PC. So we know that. You wouldn't have any problem there. So do you feel like Geforce Now, at least for this particular game, in this particular instance anyway, Geforce Now felt kind of like a balance of everything? Maybe not as snappy or as clean as Stadia sometimes, but has the player base, you know what I mean? Doesn't have the issues of xCloud.
The responsiveness was enough for me to not notice.
Gotcha.
You know,
you could adapt quickly to it.
I had a good time with the responsiveness, and you know, the look of it. Again, it wasn't horrible. It wasn't you know, it wasn't like a crisp graphic quality for me, but it wasn't like awful. Obviously, they got the player base because they're using PC player base.
Right.
So you know, that's one thing that they take off of their plate, and that's what makes the platform so different. xCloud, honestly, xCloud, they need some work, man.
Well, that's why I want to dive into that one. You know, that was the third one you went to go do, and you actually had a little bit of trouble to where you that's the one you had to like redo.
I thought I was doing something wrong. I'm like, what am I doing wrong here? Like, like you're literally telling me like xCloud, it looks great, and I'm like, what am I doing?
Dumbass,
must be messing it up.
Yeah, and well, that's why I think this is so interesting, and why I really want to talk about this here, because for me on xCloud, Destiny looks better than Stadia, but Stadia still has the latency is a little bit better. And player base, of course, isn't a problem over there with the console, but that's why I wanted you to try it. And the fact that, you know, you have so much experience playing the game and playing locally and getting into the cloud stuff and kind of following me through a lot of this, I trust your opinion and your experience when it comes to this. And I always tell people, your best friend could be next door to you, and you tell him this is running so good on xCloud, he boots it up and it doesn't. That's just the nature of cloud. It's just how that tends to work. And the fact that me and you do live so close, and you're like, dude, you were hitting me up like, dude, Destiny 2 on xCloud is not what you're telling me. This is not the experience you're explaining to me.
I got the Xbox hat on right now. Like, I love Xbox. Right. Like xCloud though,
it's not where you want it. It's definitely not been the experience where you need it yet. But I don't think you've tried very many of the other games yet. But the problem with that is the inconsistency of how the individual games are running on the service too. So xCloud definitely has a ways to go. I'm having a lot of fun with it.
I'm enjoying playing xCloud on my iPad.
Oh yeah.
And like, I'm not doing super serious games on there. Like, I'm doing some rewards quest. I was trying to do like Grand Theft Auto 5 the other day, and I was running into some of the similar issues I was having with Destiny 2, where, you know, I'm running with my guy and I stop hitting the stick and he runs for like another half a second, you know?
Right.
And, you know, honestly, that's something that, you know, maybe some people won't notice, but local gamers, I think I can
Yeah.
speak for pretty much all of local gamers, will absolutely pick up on that quick.
And to Stadia's credit, anyone who's been playing a lot of games like this on Stadia and jumps to another service, not every game's going to feel that snappy. There are some for me on Geforce and on xCloud that do. You know, I've said quite a few games, including like Dirt 5 for me on xCloud right now, are way better than Stadia, including the latency. That's not going to be the case for everybody, but most games, though, I got to give it to Stadia that they still have the stream quality and the latency. Now, everybody's going to catch up on that kind of tech eventually. They don't have the content for me, but they do continue to have some really nice tech when it comes to cloud gaming. So I always got to give it to them for that.
Oh yeah, and like out of the three, like it's so tough because like Stadia, the issue I have with Stadia doesn't really have to do much with, you know, the actual product of Stadia. It's more so like, this is something for me that would be fixed with crossplay. You know what I mean?
Which
like,
is supposed to be coming, right?
and like, yeah, and it's on its way, and they've tested it before. Like, there was some hype on Twitter when they like
there was
Ghost released it for a minute, you know,
It was
and
an accident.
so like this type of game, you know, it's going to be a lot better of an experience out of the cloud gaming experience I had once that crossplay
Right.
goes live. But for these three specific videos, given my love for Destiny and my hate for Destiny, but no, given my love for the game and wanting to do the raids and all that, like, just to pick it up and go play for, you know, a half hour to an hour, I'm going GeForce now. Because
Gotcha.
between the experience and the queue, like the matchmaking, that would do it for me.